Here we go. I have been all right. I've 6 weeks without full internet access.
That's got to be frustrating, man. But how do you like your new house?
The new house is okay. We're getting there. There's still a lot of crap piled up everywhere, but time without the internet, I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. Part of me missed lots of things, and I wrote down a list of things I missed.
All right.
So things I missed: people's podcasts.
Yeah.
So I listened to them on the iPod. They didn't download unless I was in a Wi-Fi spot. Downloaded them all. Watching people's YouTube videos.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. Video game updates. So I bought Star Wars Outlaws, which I've been playing. Apparently there was a big update for that one, and obviously I couldn't install it for like a month. So same with Astrobot. There was an update on that one because it kept telling me every time I switched it on, it's like, you've not got the latest version. No, I know, because I have no internet. Podcasting.
How did it know, though?
I don't know. I don't know how it knew. It's like I installed and put the thing in the disc. The PlayStation had never been connected to the internet since I bought Astrobot, or slightly before I bought Astrobot, but it knew.
Yeah.
It knew that it didn't have them.
It had a secret connection to the internet.
I think it might have done. I missed these podcasts. So when we were supposed to do our end of the year one, you're like, oh, I'm a little bit ill. Can we do it next week? I'm like, no. We will have to do it next year. And doing website articles.
Yeah.
I missed. What I didn't miss, reading stupid people on the internet. It kind of reminds you just how many there are when you go away, and then you come back again. You're like, oh yeah, this actually, it's kind of worse. Time wasting. Obviously, we do spend a lot of time wasting on looking at the internet and all that sort of stuff. Toxic people. Didn't miss the toxic people. They're all back.
Yeah.
I was hoping they would have all chilled out.
Right.
Especially with, things settling down in the US. I'm sure I thought everything would just be all chilled and everybody be happy now, but no, apparently not. And
it's like a wave machine in that it's like, everything, and then election, and then it's just like the other wave. Everybody, I mean, I don't understand how so many people can complain, and then the people who were complaining that their votes were heard, they should be happy, but no, they're still upset, and then it just goes back and forth, man. So carry on. I'm sorry, I interrupted your list.
And then the final thing was watching the news.
Yeah.
As much as I do, I still checked in when I was in Wi-Fi, and I had minimal data, so I could still check and see if any like nuclear bombs had gone off or anything, but nothing.
You never know. Yeah.
I didn't miss it because it's spun just designed to make everybody mad. The news everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm not into that. So that was my 6 weeks without internet, but it eventually went in, and I spent like a whole day just adding every single device in my house to the internet, which I think was like 13, 14 devices. So it was like Xboxes, PlayStations, iPods, phones, laptops, PCs. Oh, let's do some Windows updates because you've not done them for 6 weeks. Oh, for the love of God.
That's like every Wednesday, my son lives in St. Louis, and so every Wednesday afternoon we play a video game, and I've got this huge hard drive connected to my Xbox, and so I mean, like, whatever, man. I mean, like, it's always updating all that stuff, but he has to plan ahead as far as what we're playing, so that he can delete enough space off his internal hard drive and then install it. So it's an ordeal, man. Third world, was it first world issues?
First world problems, first world problems, isn't it? Where we're like, oh no, I have to uninstall something to play a game. Right. Yeah, but we've all been there. We've all had these first world problems, they still suck, whether you're in the first world or whether you're in the third world.
Yeah, man.
It's absolutely crazy. But we went offline, I think the 9th of December, and we were online about the 15th of January. So a little bit less than 6 weeks, but yeah. So I survived it. I didn't murder anybody. I didn't go insane.
Yeah.
I didn't run out of things to watch. I was all good. I was all good.
Yeah.
So
that's excellent, man.
How's things with yourself? What you been up to in these past 5 weeks?
Well, gosh, man. I guess the biggest thing is the addition of a new dog to our
Mhm.
household, and big golden retriever. He's about 83, 85 pounds, somewhere in there, and very smart. And Michelle gave him to me as a Christmas gift the Friday before Christmas. So, and he's been a blast, man. He's very smart, very respectful. I had to take him out before, and that's usually my excuse. It's
Yeah,
always
yeah,
the
yeah.
dogs made me late. But he's funny in that he will not ask until he needs to go, and then I take him out, and then he goes. And yeah, very, very, very good dog. And I don't think he understands that he's at 85 pounds. He would
No.
still like to sit in my lap and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But he's very gentle. My mom is up in her upper 80s. Hopefully she doesn't mind me, me doing that reveal. But anyway, my dad and I, who he's also in his 80s, we go for a walk a few times a week. And I decided, well, why don't you come over, talk to my mom, and play with the dog, because he loves playing fetch, and he will continue to bring the ball back. He'll play for hours. And my mom is pretty fragile. She's had cancer. She's got a rod in her back. And so anyway, but she enjoyed it. I mean, like, I've trained the dog to bring the ball back and put it into a chair, like if I'm sitting in the kitchen. And so he brings it back, puts it in the chair, and then we throw it. So yeah, my mom had a blast, which was good. I was afraid he was going to knock her out of the chair without meaning
Yeah.
to. So it's a lot of mass in motion. So,
Will
but
we
I
will
think,
we see your
yeah,
new dog in the next John Wick movie, perhaps? Because there are some pretty cool dogs in the John Wick film series.
yeah, yeah. If I could get him, I don't want him to jump in my lap, but you can probably see his
I could see
face
the
right
nose
there.
and the eyes. Yep.
Yeah,
Cameo
yeah. His
appearance.
his head is probably the same size as Michelle's old dog. So
Okay.
head alone, yeah. So, but
So a new addition
this,
to the Fouts family.
yeah, man, yeah. So we have two dogs now. One's pretty old, and she's kind of lazy and crotchety and spoiled. So now we've got a young one who doesn't care if you give him treats. He'll do whatever you ask him to do, and he's just happy if you're happy. So
How has she taken to the new dog?
it's very, I mean, like, instantly she liked having another dog in the house, because I think she was lonely. She's been with two other dogs up until last year. So that was roughly 7 years that she spent with us, and with
Yeah.
having a pack to run around with. And then both of them moved on to the Happy Trail, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And last year. And so anyway, I think she was lonely. And so now she's got this big beast to pal around with. And he's funny. Michelle got up the other day. We were watching a movie, and she got up, and so he jumped directly in her spot and curled up beside me and wanted to
Wow.
stay. So yeah.
Nice. Watching
Yeah.
movies. I've done lots of watching movies because
No doubt,
there
man.
wasn't a lot else to do. There was no podcasts. There was no
Right.
game updates. So
Yeah.
we'll get cracking on what we've watched. What have you watched?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, man. So many things. Let's start off with the fact that David Lynch died. What was it, a week ago?
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I don't know if you watched any of his stuff, man. I mean, of course, the
Tons.
original Dune, The Elephant Man, Eraserhead. I never really watched Twin Peaks. I kept meaning to go
Really?
back.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
man, is that not crazy? But anyway, but yeah, I mean, he was very much his own, making films and stuff. So, let's see here. I put on my glasses so I could see, and my eyes are so tired at the end of an edit day.
I mean,
Let's,
staying on Lynch for a second. I did watch a lot of
yeah,
David Lynch stuff over the years. I think the
yeah,
first one I probably ever saw was The Elephant Man.
yeah,
And I liked it, and I'm like, why is this in black and white? This is weird, this film. And I mean, if you think
yeah.
The Elephant Man's a weird David Lynch film, then clearly you've not seen that many David Lynch films. I think eventually I went back and watched The Razorhead, and I'm still, I can appreciate it. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's just like, it's
Yeah,
very weird. I
yeah,
think I put out a couple of tweets after he'd passed away saying I didn't always like every film David Lynch made, but I
right.
love the fact that somebody like David Lynch was able to make movies. I feel the same about David Cronenberg. It's like I love the fact that there's those type of filmmakers out there that just make the weirdest stuff that they want to make. Lynch, I think, was the top of the pile when it comes to just like, what the hell's that film about? I don't even. I used to always have this thing where I wasn't even sure David Lynch knew what a lot of his films are about. And a lot of his big fans are like, oh, yeah, no, I totally understand it. I don't think you do. Inland Empire, for one, is a brilliant example of that. You watch it and you go, I don't know what that film's about, but I love it. It's David Lynch. I knew he was ill because I'd seen like a news story, I think about a year or so ago, saying he was stepping away from directing because if he was directing, he would have to do it remotely because he didn't want to catch any illnesses. So I knew that his health had been troubling him, but it sucked to wake up and find out that he'd passed on, because he was just one of the best weirdos out there.
And you think about it, man, back when he was, like, I think the first thing that he's credited with on IMDb is was made back in '67, and it was like a BS aspirin or headache medicine or whatever. And I don't know if you've seen it. It's like a short, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes long. Anyway, it's weird. It's without dialogue, but it is what it is. But the fact that he was in that golden era where the studios would trust somebody, like, all right, you're going to make something crazy, we're going to let you do it, and we'll make money on somebody else, if it tanks. And then there was that era where it's like the bean counters are in control, so it's like, oh no, we must make money, so therefore you can't do your weird stuff anymore. And then with digital cinema coming in, now everybody can do some weird stuff again.
Yeah. I think there'll be a lot of people inspired by David Lynch, but which is your favorite one? What if you had to pick one that you go, I like that? Mine's A Straight Story.
Probably Dune. It was just huge. I liked the sets and knowing that there was no digital cheats. I mean, so that was cool. The Elephant Man, for a completely different reason, I thought it had a good message. So that's kind of cool too, when you can be so non-formulaic that you come up with whatever story you want to tell. So
he's one of those filmmakers that will be missed, most definitely. Being on The Straight Story is my choice. The guy in the lawnmower.
Check that out, man.
Have you never watched that one? Oh, it's a Disney. I believe it's a Disney film, and it's a U certificate, so anybody can watch it. And it's about a guy he's in his 90s, I believe, who just travels across country on a lawnmower. Absolute wonderful film. So yeah, do check out.
It's called Straight what?
The Straight Story. And it was from the late 90s, I think it was. So probably around like 97, 98, 99, something like that. But it's really, really lovely film. It's not a weird Lynch one, other than the fact it's about a guy who drives across country on a lawnmower. It's, it could happen. It probably did happen. It wouldn't surprise me if it's based on a true story. Really nice. So I'm going for that one.
That's interesting. Nothing to do with didn't Stephen King do a movie, The Lawnmower Man?
Yeah, he did, and then he fell out with it. He didn't like that film. So,
yeah. Let's see here. So, a shout out to Carla Ray, who I've talked about before, but she was in the movie Bones of Crows, which I have yet to see, even though it is now on Hulu. But anyway, the movie won best. Let's see here. It was. I'm trying to read. My glasses didn't even help today. So anyway, Best Picture Award at the Red Nation International Film Festival. So
nice.
Anyway, so yeah. And then my buddy gave me the shirt.
Nice. Yep.
So yeah. And I can't remember who designed it. Anyway, but it's at least now it's been documented on the most famous podcast.
That everybody will be like, where did he disappear? I think on the last episode, which was with Chris, I think I did announce the fact that, oh, by the way, I'm not going to be around for 6 weeks. So I don't think anybody was panicking. To be fair, though, how long was it between waxing cinematic episodes?
Oh, and you know what's really sad is that we recorded one. I mean, it was like days before Christmas, and I have yet to put it out. So
you put one up, though.
To the holidays.
There was one that went up around Christmas time.
There's another one.
There's another one.
Yeah.
Get it up then. God.
There's another one, man. Yeah. So, a little slow on the delivery of those, but
Yeah.
hopefully Jake and I'll get more on a kind of a regular rhythm, if you will. So, yeah.
We need to get Jake in on one of these at some point. Just
Yeah. Well,
so
I
we
mean,
can just
and I
bitch
can't
about
remember when
Terminator.
his 100%, man. Let's see here. So yeah, I guess that's it, man. Are you reading any books before we get into the movies?
I bought one. This is probably going to make my display fall down. There we go.
Oh, sorry,
A
Venom.
bit like Jenga. This is one all about the making of Ghostbusters. And it's
Wow,
hefty. It's like
man.
500 and something pages. So I've got
Yeah.
that one. And then I'm not taking the other one out because that will
No,
make
I
everything
don't
fall apart.
blame you, man.
But
All your
for Christmas, I was given the Al Pacino autobiography, Sonny Boy,
Yeah,
which I'm looking forward to reading as well. So I've got 2 books,
yeah.
but I didn't read any books at all last year. None.
Really?
None whatsoever. Because I was
Because
kind of,
you're a pretty avid reader, man.
I am, but I was ill since July.
That's right.
So last
Yeah,
thing I wanted to do was like do that and read a book or whatever. So
right.
I've
That's a
got
lot of
quite a
effort
few.
when you feel bad.
Yeah.
People don't understand, but yeah, man, I do. I can relate.
So no books at all were read by me in
Yeah,
2024. So kind of
yeah.
sucks. But
Michelle
what?
and I started one that's called Project Hail Mary, and it's by Andy Weir, who is the author of The Martian.
Hmm.
And they are going to make a movie out of this, and I can't remember who they have slated for the lead. But anyway, it is a very fun book to read. And Michelle and I started it on the way down. We went to Florida for Thanksgiving. And so at some point her car decided that it didn't want to play the audiobooks anymore. It didn't want to talk or play nice with the phone. So anyway, I pulled out this book that was recommended by my daughter and I started reading it, which is always fun for me since I do voiceover. And but it was really fun, man. I mean, like we blew through close to 50 pages the first day.
What's the
So
pitch? What's the sort of synopsis of it?
this the main character wakes up in and he doesn't know where he is. He feels like he's in a hospital ward, but he can see there's 2 other beds in this hospital ward, and they have a mummy in each bed. And so he's trying to figure out what has happened to him. He can't remember his name, and there's this big robot arms that will try to keep him in the bed. He's got an IV and a couple other tubes in him. So he has to try to get loose so that he can try to go through this hatch and try to figure out where he is. And turns out he's in space. I don't think that's a big
Okay.
spoiler, but yeah. So, but it's so well written, and he will have these memories kind of come back to him, and because the computer's saying you need to verify that you are of sound mind by telling us what your name is, and he's just like, I don't remember. So, but it's funny. It's very well written. So I never
Okay.
read The Martian. I saw the movie, but that was fun. So
I always find it easier if it's like, oh, there's a movie, I can finish that in 2 hours,
right,
compared with a book, which will take me about 3 months. So
right.
there's
Yep.
that.
With the best of intentions, man.
Yeah.
It's we have yet to really progress with it once we came back, and that was Thanksgiving because we went directly into Christmas, and we did minimal decorations this year, which was kind of nice. We had 2 trees set up, and I mean, really, Michelle decorated both, so I did very little. But it was, but I mean, the cleanup was super easy too. So there weren't a gazillion trees and stockings hung by the chimney with care. Michelle had just put all the goodies in these Ziploc bags and tossed them to the kids. So yeah, man, simplicity. It was awesome.
What date did your Christmas trees come down?
Well, one of them came down, I think it was last week.
Wow.
And the other
Wow.
one is somewhat taken down. And yeah, man. I mean, when Michelle
Somewhat
and I were
taken
dating,
down? Somewhat taken down?
somewhat,
How does
yeah.
that work?
It's not real. So you can pull all the lights off, and then you can
Right.
just pull the top off, and then you've got like a Hanukkah bush or whatever, and you
Yeah.
think, I'm progressing. You can feel like you've accomplished something.
Okay.
So
Well, ours came down on the 28th of December. I'm a firm believer
did
in
it
once all the
really?
presents are gone, get it. I've
Right.
always got to make sure it's gone by New Year because I don't want to
Yeah.
go into a new year with remnants of the previous year. So I'm like, right, done.
Yeah. I
Um,
don't blame you, man. Michelle wants to wait till I think it's January the 6th. And then through that procrastination, then and I think it's called Epiphany. But anyway, through that procrastination, it could go on until the end of January. But when Michelle and I were dating originally, we started dating and I think it was in March. She and my two daughters who were still here took the all the ornaments off the tree and we were done with Christmas early March. So
okay.
yeah, it happens, man. it,
And
it
we're nearly
becomes
done with January. It's like, where's this month? I mean, I know
it
where
is
my month's gone. It's gone waiting for internet installations and
right.
unboxing crap. But
Right. It has, I think, with Thanksgiving coming so late, which I know you guys don't do, right?
yeah,
Thanksgiving.
no,
But Thanksgiving was so late in the month, and then we were down in Florida visiting Michelle's parents, and then we came back, and then it was just like, wow, you have like 2 weeks to get Christmas ready. So it just felt really rushed.
yeah.
So
And then you get Christmas and then New Year, and then you've got a new person in charge over there. I'm sure it's going smoothly and everybody's happy, and
yep. Yeah. I mean,
paradise is
he
returned.
he really is good, man. Yeah.
It's just like like you said though,
I
the
thought you were
internet.
talking about my dog. I didn't know you
Yes,
were talking about my president.
yes, you're president. Yes,
We'll see, man. He is pushing a lot of stuff through. I
yeah,
want things to work. It's kind of
yeah,
like
of
my
course,
car. I don't I just want it to run, man.
yeah,
If something's wrong, I want it replaced. And but I really I don't need to know everything about it. I know I have
no.
about 270 horsepower, and that's really about it. I've got a full tank of gas, almost like the Blues Brothers, except I don't have a pack of cigarettes and my sunglasses
Yeah.
on at night. So
That's one of the things I didn't miss when I was away from the internet is I'd see people moaning about the president and stuff, and you look and you go, "Where do you live?" Wales. You're like, "Why are you so annoyed and wound up by something in another country that isn't personally going to infect you yet?" It does
right,
affect you,
right,
fine, but yeah, everybody's just mad at
right.
everything. So it's just,
Yeah,
I want
it is
everything to work.
weird.
It's like,
Yeah,
unfortunately, you can just look at
yeah,
it and go, "We need to wait and see how all this plays out."
right. Because we don't know.
No,
Yeah, there was the inauguration or whatever on I think it was Monday. I
yeah,
didn't watch it.
yeah, it's Monday. Yeah,
I mean, and I'm progress. Everything moves forward,
yeah,
whatever. But I
yeah, yeah.
mean, I didn't see the point in wasting my time watching this theatrical. What was it, District One, whatever the capital? You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't. It's like, oh well, Dusty West and singing. I
So
don't care.
I'm
I
not
don't
bothered.
listen to him anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
I'm the
but
same here
anyway,
with
but
all the royal
yeah,
pageantry and stuff. It's like I don't bother watching that. If it's
oh,
on, I'll
yep,
glance at it, but I'm not going right. That's my day sorted out. I'm going to
right,
sit here for 7 hours. No,
yeah.
stuff to do, movies
But
to watch.
it's there was I think that Elon Musk is probably a little bit autistic. I mean, like,
It's
and
definitely
so,
something.
and he's brilliant. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you see what he's done creating all this stuff. But whatever he did, where it was like, my heart goes out to everybody, and he just,
I'll do that.
it's just like, and everybody was like, oh, see, he's a Nazi, Trump's a Nazi, and I'm just like, you know what? You're picking on somebody, and you don't know if he just felt awkward up there. There is
Yeah,
no telling what I would do. But anyway, sorry,
it is. The
I
world
heard,
is
yeah,
it's madness. The world is madness, pretty much, and
it
you've
really
just got to
is.
drown out what you can get away with drowning out. Otherwise, your head will explode like scanners. That's not good.
Right. Not at all. Let's see here, man. So, what streaming services are you keeping at the moment?
I'm back on Netflix because with my
Yeah,
new internet provider, which is Sky, they give me
yeah.
Netflix for free for 2 years. So we're
Wow,
back we're
man.
back on there. I mean, it's the ads one, but I don't really give a crap. It's like it's a good time to go make a coffee or something when an
Oh
ad
man,
comes.
Netflix has an ad version.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. I did the ad version of, because when I told you that I went with Disney, Hulu, Max, ESPN, and National Geographic, all those. Anyway, and because it was bundled and it was so cheap, then there were commercials.
Mm.
And man, watching that in the middle of What If, where it's like in the middle of a word and then boom, there's
Yeah.
that kind of killed it. And then there's this one series that National Geographic did where it's just drone footage, but it has some really, chill music and stuff. And sometimes I'll put that on and go to sleep if I just need a little music or something. But anyway, and then boom, there's a commercial
Yeah.
for
Is your liver
whatever,
going to
man.
explode? You need these pills.
It's-
Whoa. Yeah.
exactly. Oh, and by the way, by taking these pills, your liver may explode.
Have you planned your
But
funeral yet? You should for $99.99. It's like, oh, put the chill music back on, please. Yeah.
100%. And then it comes back, but it's always at volume 11. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
So
is. Yeah.
it was jarring. So over the holiday, especially with the What If series, I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna, and it's not very expensive, and so I've canceled ads in everything that
Wow.
the Disney bundle includes. Yeah, so um, yeah, but
So yeah,
I had
so
no
so
idea, man, about
yeah, no, we
Netflix.
have had ones in the UK for there's a
Yeah.
Disney version, Paramount, I believe, but I've signed up for free trials on the Paramount one, and I've never seen
Yeah.
an ad on any of the programs yet.
They want your money, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've never seen an advert though. So it's like I
Yeah.
sign up for the ad one, which is like $6.99 or
Oh,
something for a
gotcha.
month, and
Yeah.
I've never seen an advert. So I've finished
Yeah.
off Yellowstone. Well, this is
Yeah.
all pre, the last show. So I've
Oh,
watched that
yeah.
in its entirety, which I
What'd you
really
think
do.
of the finale, man?
I really like the finale, but I think the show missed Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
I think it
That
was
was,
really good before Costner left. And then
yeah.
you can tell that there was obviously a problem and he left. And
Right.
then they're like, quick, we need to come up with
Yeah.
something for these final few episodes. And it felt like a very different show.
It was odd, and but the ending was satisfying.
Hmm.
And so it's kind of like what was the movie or the miniseries that we were watching? I'm sorry, I've got a really long list. Oh my gosh, it's American something. Oh, American Primeval. It's on
Right.
Netflix.
Yeah.
And so if you haven't seen
I know it.
and it's good. It's a good pioneer kind of story. But you are from England, where I mean, like, I I want to know what your view of American Primeval is, because it
Okay.
is a story about trying to conquer the Midwest and the West, and it's so violent. Um, and I really, even though most of my relatives came from England, I don't know the history of the British, and so I don't know what would your view, your take on it versus
Okay.
mine,
I'll watch it.
being a Westerner. Yeah. Which, by
Yeah.
the way, man, random note. And it's, of course, it was clickbait, but it was something about oh my gosh, now I can't remember the actor's name, but anyway, um, oh my gosh, man, he was Nolan's Batman. Why am I spacing on his
Christian
name?
Bale.
Christian Bale. If
Yeah.
And they were saying that people don't believe what his voice actually sounds like.
Yeah.
And if you close your eyes when listening to Christian Bale, it is you. So I thought I would
Oh,
give you
okay.
that compliment.
Thank
That
you.
yes, yeah, man, you've
I'll
got a
take that.
very Christian Bale-esque
I will
kind of,
take that. But yeah, he
yeah,
does
man.
sound very, very different, doesn't he, when he's talking in his normal tongue?
Yeah. I did a short film where I did an Australian accent, and then it was probably a year later I met this little group of filmmakers or whatever, and the one guy was very disappointed that I wasn't Australian. He was like,
Oh,
"Man, where's your accent?" And I was like, "This is it. This
this
is
is
me." And he was
this is
like,
my voice.
"Wow, man, I didn't know you're just American."
What do you mean, just American? How dare you?
Exactly. All righty. Yep.
But yeah, so yeah, Paramount Plus, Yellowstone, finished that entire run,
Yeah.
I haven't gone on to watch any of the spin-offs or whatever because I don't think you need to. I mean, I'm sure they're good shows anyway. You know, you were watching some of them, but it's not like, oh, I need to know more about this, you know, Kevin Costner's granddad or
Right.
something. But
Right. I mean, we started watching one of them. I can't remember which one it was. I think it's the 18 whatever,
99, I think,
which
wasn't it, or something?
which Joe Rogan says is the best one of the bunch. Which
Or is
I
it
think that's
1883? I don't know. It's 18 something. I'm going with your answer. 18 something.
yeah, exactly. It
Yeah.
makes it easier. But we started it and maybe got halfway through, and it's kind of like Costner's Horizon, whatever that thing
Yeah.
was, where it just seemed like a very long trailer, and there's 2 more hours to go.
Yeah.
You didn't know anybody, everybody's killing everybody. Not that American Primeval wasn't a bunch of death and mayhem, but at least you were introduced to these different characters kind of separately, and some of them were familiar names that really existed in history. But yeah, man, I mean, like, it was just hey, welcome to the show, everybody's shooting everybody. Oh, barricade the door, they're coming. And I'm just like, do I want you to live? Do I want you to die? I
Do I
don't know.
care?
And before long, it was like, I don't. So,
Yeah.
and I was done. So,
So Yellowstone finished. Tulsa King season 2, another Paramount Plus show. Finished
yeah,
that.
man.
I really
Did
like
you enjoy
Tulsa
that?
King. I think it's
Yeah.
great. I could. Annette and I were talking about it. We said we could literally just next for like
Yeah.
all of them. If that was still running constantly, we'd go, another one. It's a
Yeah.
really, really easy TV
Yeah.
show to watch. So
And Taylor Sheridan produced
yeah,
that as well,
he
man.
did.
That dude is everywhere. Mayor of Kingstown. Don't know if you
Yep.
watched that, but that was I
Up to
really
date. I'm
enjoyed
up to
that.
date on that
Yeah.
one. Is that coming back?
I kind of feel like maybe not.
Because it's gone quiet, hasn't it? And obviously, like
Yeah.
Yellowstone finished,
Yeah.
and then they're like, "Oh, there'll be another season," and
Yeah.
Tulsa King, I know there's going to be another season of that. But Mayor of Kingstown just
Yeah.
seemed to finish, and then you're like, I've never
Yep.
heard of anything since.
It was almost like, okay, we got to wrap this up in an episode. Okay, bang, bang, boom. Okay. And
I don't think they wrapped it up though, did they? It felt like, okay, that's this little story done, but I can see where the next season's going to end. Nothing.
yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
gone. I don't know. So I'll be curious.
Yep.
I hope it comes back.
Yeah. I enjoy it, man. The music, the mood, just everything about it.
Yep.
I've really enjoyed that. Michelle does too. So
The one I do want to watch, which funnily enough is a Taylor Sheridan show, is Landman, which I've been hearing good things about. I haven't seen that one.
It's awesome.
Is it good?
It is really good. Yeah. It's funny how sometimes you'll hit that season finale and it's kind of a cliffhanger, but if it's a good show, you've been left with a cliffhanger every single time. And then you're waiting on that weekly drop, and it's like going on the third week. I'm like, wait a minute, is it really done until next season? But it's hilarious. I think Taylor Sheridan just writes what he feels and thinks, whether it is acceptable or not. And I think that's what makes his shows unique. Versus so many of them that's just like, oh yeah, you like vanilla ice cream with nothing on it. Yeah, that's what you want.
Yep. No, it's not. It's not what we want at all. So to start, I do want to watch the second season of Lioness, which I really enjoyed season 1. I haven't seen season 2, so I'll probably be jumping back into Paramount at some point. But
it's really good. For some reason, I left Michelle behind in season 1 and finished it out, and so we went back and rewatched season 1 and finished season 2. It's excellent.
And the other Paramount Plus show I've been watching is the new Dexter Original Sin.
Oh, how is that?
It's really good. The casting's great. I saw somebody online going, he looks nothing like Dexter. He really does. It's genius casting for a lot of the characters. Even before they're introduced on screen, you're like, oh, I know which one that is. Brilliant. Right. But they're not just doing impressions of them. The guy who, did you watch the original Dexter?
Yeah.
The guy who plays Angel Batista. Amazing. I don't know his name, but he's just like spot on. Absolutely.
Wow, man.
Brilliant. So I think that's like 6 episodes in. I think it took a break this week because something was happening in the US on Monday. I don't know what, but I think there was some sort of party or something. So I'm guessing Dexter decided we're going to have a week off. We'll come back next week on TV.
That to me is just lame. I mean, like, that's from my childhood where it's like, hey, Jaws is going to be on tonight. No, the presidential addresses. So, now we join your, what is it? I can't remember how they worded it, but it was like, now we join your regularly scheduled programming already in progress. And then the head pops out the boat, and man, you're just like, what just happened?
And it's still weird. It's like the thing drops on a streaming platform. Why put it on anyway? People will just watch it on Tuesday. I don't get why there was a week off for some reason. But there's a bit of Dexter this week.
I'm sure that Hulu and Disney and everybody has the condensed version of what took an entire day on Monday, and you can just zip on through it, man. Yeah.
Yep. So I've been watching that. I've also started, I'm way behind on this show, and I've only seen the pilot episode, Mindhunter on Netflix.
Haven't seen it.
The David Fincher one. It's all about the FBI and the psychology, hostage negotiators and all that. It's a few years. It only lasted for 2 seasons, and everybody's mad because they're like, I want a 3rd season. Come on, Netflix.
Yeah.
It's like they don't give a crap to Netflix. They just want new stuff. But it was a few years ago.
Yeah, isn't that set like in the 60s or 70s?
Yeah.
It's kind of sad that we refer to the 60s or 70s as a period piece.
It's a period drama. Yeah. It's in the same era as American Primeval, give or take about 100 years.
Right.
Yeah. So there's that.
They're still dealing with it psychologically, though, man. It's a trend in the United States.
And then the final thing that I've watched are both seasons of The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon. So I'm up to date with Daryl. I really liked it. Yeah. My only issue with the Walking Dead ones is like, okay, when is this set? You have to go into Google and go, when is this?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a faff with that because you don't know which time period you're in. But I liked season 2 was better than season 1 because Carol came back. So it was finally we got the Daryl and Carol show. But season 1 was pretty good. And you look at it and you go, how did he get to France? And for those who think it's stupid that Daryl ended up in Paris, it does explain it in the show. And it is pretty feasible, I think.
Yeah, I mean, in the future, why not, right?
Yep.
But I thought it was a lot better than what's the other with Rick and Michonne.
That's the only one I've not seen yet. The
really?
Ones Who Live. I've seen Dead City, Daryl Dixon 1 and 2. Fear the Walking Dead. I need to go back and watch those.
Good.
Dead City was good. That's probably the best of the bunch, I think. Is Dead City.
That I don't know. I think I like Daryl better. Excuse me. Just I don't know. Daryl is such a likable guy. He has been beaten down over and over, but he refuses to let that change his humanity. So versus Rick, man. That's funny.
I was never a huge fan of the Rick character.
Yeah,
just like
despite Love Actually, right?
Yeah, where he plays a creepy person stalking his best friend's partner. Well done, Rick.
No,
shows up on the door.
Until next year. Yeah, just say it's carol singers, right?
Yeah. One carols. Mind you, he did have a boombox, didn't he, playing carols, I think. Or I might have just made that up.
No, he had a boombox, and surely that made it very believable that it sounded like a huge throng of carol singers. So,
So what else have you watched? What's on your list that you?
Man, let's see here. Landman, which is awesome. Finished up Shrinking.
Same. I finished that. Yeah, I'm up to date. I love that show. Even Annette ended up enjoying that show, and she didn't see season 1 because she was like, "Oh, watch another one if you want." I'm like, "Do you not mind?" She went, "No."
Right.
Glued to it. Harrison Ford, amazing in that show.
Yeah, and having Roy Kent, I can't remember what his character's
Brett Goldstein
name is in there.
Yeah, Brett Goldstein.
Yeah. But I could tell his influence in the show. But when he showed up as a character, and then the ending is phenomenal. The ending of season 2. So, everything you hope for and more.
Did you not think, oh my God, is this going to go the way? Oh no, he's not going. Me and Annette were like, oh, I hope. Genuinely, it's like this is supposed to be a comedy. It's like, but we were so gripped to it. And then when
Yep.
the end sequence happened, we were like, I'm breathe.
Yep. Michelle and I did the same thing because we were just like, oh, this is because I mean, Shrinking and Ted Lasso, they will have you laughing and then get misty eyed, and
Yeah.
I mean, amazing shows. But yeah, so I enjoyed Shrinking. Did you watch Silo while you had Apple?
No, I've seen the first 2 episodes of that show, and then I forgot that I'd been watching it, and I've just never gone back to it. So I'm like,
Right.
yeah.
It's good, man. Season 2, well, the ending of season 1 opened doors to a whole new world, for lack of a better term. And then so you're starting to figure out the puzzle that is the silo in season 2. So it was interesting, well cast, and had some tender moments, and yeah, it was cool, man. I'm looking forward to season 3. I
Hmm.
started watching a YouTube video that was like, if you want to know what's going on, this is based on the books and we'll tell you everything. And I started watching that and I was like, nah, I don't want to
No,
spoil it. Yeah. But it was tempting because I'm like, this is Rubik's Cube with like 100 squares on each side. So,
but
but
it's
it,
gonna
it's,
end on season 4, isn't it? Silo, as far as I've heard, they're going to do a
oh,
4,
I don't
and then
know.
so they're closing it
Yeah.
out like there will be an end date, so it's not just going
Yeah.
to get cancelled. But you've got season 3 and
Yeah.
4.
That's good. I like it when shows think ahead. It's kind of like Ted Lasso. As much as we didn't want it to end, the original plan was 3 seasons, and it ended well. I mean,
Yeah,
it's probably my most recommended TV series.
yeah.
And and now they're coming back with season 4. I don't know how I feel about that, but if they make me laugh and cry, yes, I'm
I,
down with it. So
I think season 4 of Ted Lasso is a bit like Toy Story 4, isn't it? You're like, oh, why are they gonna? And then you watch it and you go, do
right.
you know what? I quite like number 4.
Yep. Let's see here. Death and Other Details, which is a murder mystery that's on
Okay.
Hulu.
Yeah.
That's been good. And it was kind of like you think, okay, they figured it out. Oh, wait, it wasn't that person. And so they did it really well. Creature Commandos, James
Okay.
Gunn's
Yeah.
animated show on Max, that cracks me up. Michelle, she gets distracted by the violence and some of the absurdity, which just goes with the show, I think. But yeah, um, anyway, so she'll walk through the room and go, "Yeah, I'm still not watching that." So,
Yeah.
let's see here. What If season 3? That was really good,
Mhm.
especially once I canceled the commercials.
Yeah.
Um, we've already talked about American Prime Evil. The Sticky is a miniseries that I think is on Amazon Prime, and it is about a multi-million-dollar oh, what is it? The fancy syrup that's from the tree, not the Aunt Jemima variety. But anyway, I don't know why. Again, I'm spacing on names. But anyway, it's about a syrup heist up in Canada.
Wow.
And it
Okay.
says this is not based on what happened, but yet it kind of makes you think maybe it kind of was. So,
Okay.
but yeah, so the Sticky is very good. Did you ever watch Sneaky Pete?
No, I saw it, and this is
Yeah.
Brian. Is it Brian Cranston, or is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
He's a
I
part
saw
of
the
that. Yeah.
saw the thumbnail, and I'm like, because
Yep.
there's still too many shows to watch, and I have to sort of
Oh, 100%.
pick and
Sneaky
choose. But
Pete
that's
is
good.
Sneaky Pete is good, and the grandmother from Sneaky Pete plays one of the leads in The Sticky. So, let's see here. Craven the Hunter, which I heard so many bad reviews about Craven the Hunter that I didn't even want to see it. So I mean, it
Oops.
just sat there in my queue for like 3 weeks, and then I told Michelle, because we have this agreement now. After watching Tom and Jerry from start to finish, and turns out none of us wanted to see it. This was back when Kate was still living with us. And and then we get to the end and we're like, yeah, that kind of sucked. Wait, you thought it sucked too? Why did we waste time watching it?
Yeah.
So anyway, so I said, look, let's watch 20 to 30 minutes of Craven the Hunter. If it's stupid, then we'll just stop. We'll go on. But it was great. I mean, like, it's
Mm.
don't expect too much, but I mean, it was I think in ways better than Madam Web, which I really enjoyed.
I like Madam
And
Web as well. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
so I just think it got undue hate. But you know how it is these days. It's,
Every
if you can't
film
hate on
gets
something.
everything gets undue when people haven't even seen it yet. Shout out to Superman. Yeah, because
Right.
I'm sure the knives will be out for that film. Even if it's the best
Yep.
film in the history of movies. But Craven the
Right.
Hunter did take a lot of flack and crashed
Dude,
at the
and it
box
was,
office as well, which
yeah, it
is
was
a shame.
pulled from, I think, 1/3 of the box offices, or the movie theaters here in the US. It was just like, oh crap, this is bad. So we're pulling it out of some, and yeah, I thought it was fine, man. I saw Venom 3, and I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
Um, Venom, all three of the Venom movies are, to me, have more of an 80s vibe, which is, you and I grew up
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the
Same.
80s.
Well,
And
Madam
so,
Web's kind of like an early
oh
2000s
yeah,
vibe, isn't it? It's like the Sam Raimi
yeah,
Spider-Man films, which everybody liked those, but
yeah,
now everybody hates Madam
yeah.
Web because it looks like a film from the 2000s. You're like, but did you like the film from the 2000s?
I think people just, they need to watch it again. Like, wait 2 weeks, be in a better mood. Hopefully you've had a positive life change, and watch it and see if
Yeah.
you don't enjoy it. The Pit, which is really good. That's another Max show, and it has, oh my gosh, the dude Noah Wiley. He is
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
lead in it.
yeah.
And so it's another hospital drama, but I mean it's very well done, and it's on Max, so they can be a little more raw with it, which I feel like is more authentic. Dune Prophecy, which of course is the reason why we had Dune 1 and Dune 2, so
Hmm.
they could go back and tell
Yeah.
the story, and Max could make more money. It was good. I mean, like, I never read the books, so while I'm sitting there with Michelle, periodically I go, so was Professor Fagaragaram, was he part of the book? Was he, because I can't keep up with names, man. It's as bad as
Does
Game of Thrones.
tell me about it. Does Dune
Yeah.
Prophecy fit with the Dune Part One and Dune Part 2, which I haven't seen? They're sitting downstairs on Blu-ray. I've just not. I've got this whole big
Um,
back catalogue of 3-hour movies that
yeah.
I haven't got that much time to schedule in lots of 3-hour movies.
Yeah. The worlds feel genuine. People who eat spice have glowing eyes. So I mean, there's some consistency there, and periodically it'd be like, yes, House of Brosnan or whatever, man, House of Connery, and and so it's so yeah, I mean, it's genuine, but I mean, it's kind of like watching the Acolyte and someone saying, "Yeah, that Yoda guy," and then you're like, going,
Mm.
"Whatever, man, still not worth it." But yeah, so that's kind of what it's like watching something that was made up, based upon a book series, but it doesn't. I mean, it's like, what did Bishop do? The Marvel character Bishop,
Yeah.
in between. I mean, he has such a long period of time that's unaccounted for, and then he comes back with a little device to. That has the essence of a sister shard. I digress. I'm nerding out, but I mean, like, that to me would make a good TV show. So let's see here. Ghosts, which originated over on the
Yeah. I've
BBC.
seen
Now we
clips
have
of
our own
that. I've never
version.
watched it.
Yeah.
Oh, they've remade it, have they?
Oh yes. So
Wow. Okay.
you know how it is,
Yeah, yeah.
man. America's like, oh, that's a funny British show. We'll just redo it.
You did the same with
Um
Shameless. That was originally a British show that lasted more seasons, I believe, in the US
oh
with William Macy. Yep.
yeah. And The Office too,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see here. So you got Skeleton Crew,
Yes,
which I think
Skeleton
was much
Crew.
more Goonies.
I
Yeah, but
have
it was
I have
awesome,
seen,
man.
and I'm going to chop this little bit out, use it in my Star Wars channel. But Skeleton Crew,
Yeah,
I enjoyed. I liked it.
I
It
did
was very
too,
much
man.
Goonies in space. Very much.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
It,
pirates, kids, adventure, treasure,
yeah,
Goonies.
yeah. With that, and then the Wolfman creature from the Cantina in
Yeah.
Star Wars, with an animated face now, so or mechanical. So yeah, man, that was enjoyable. Have you seen Gladiator 2?
I have seen Gladiator 2. There's one thing that was springing to mind. It's like, I can't remember. I can't say I remember now at in. It's like,
Right.
I was going around the house saying that all day, and I'm like, why am I still saying that? There's nobody else in the house. So I can't say I remember now at in. What is wrong with me? It's just
Dude,
bonkers.
when one of the kids, not to ruin it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but when one of the kids has a second chance to fire up the lightsaber, was I the only one hoping he had the correct end pointed away from him?
Yeah. But it was good. I thought Jude Law was brilliant in it. I like Jude Law anyway.
Yeah.
I thought it looked visually, it looked great. I thought the story was fine. Yes, the episodes are too damn short again.
Oh yeah.
They need to sort that out. Some of them are like 32 minutes. You're like, including the recap and the credits. You're like, oh come on, seriously, just.
And it's not just the English credits; it's also every other language that it's been dubbed in. Yeah, so that adds another 10 minutes. Yeah.
But it's, I think the internet kind of liked it. I think I saw a few people like, it sucks. Disney ruined Star Wars, and it's like, no, they didn't. Disney paid $4 billion for Star Wars. Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're doing. I think Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau in particular are doing a brilliant job with it.
Yeah, they need to sort the fandom out. I don't know how you sort the fandom out. I don't think. I mean, Skeleton. I saw people go, "Oh, Skeleton Crew, it's just not a kids show." Yes, that's what it is. It's meant to be a kids show, like the Goonies was a kids film.
Yeah,
and Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars originally in '77 made for kids or just made for everybody? Because I think they made it for everybody back in the day.
You know, I think it's kind of like if you were at a music store and here, you're doing heavy metal, rock and roll, southern, whatever, and then here's Van Halen. Where does that go? Because they had such a unique sound. And I think that's the same thing with Star Wars. It was so different. What do you do with it? It was PG, and just mind bender, man, after everything that we were all used to. And then here comes this movie with weird stuff in it. It was awesome, man.
But yeah, Skeleton Crew, I enjoyed it. Nobody knows whether it's coming back for another season or not. I'd be okay if it didn't, because it felt self-contained and it was fine.
Yeah. It did kind of end with I'd like to find out more about Jude Law's character. The elephant kid, and it's
Neil.
been 2 weeks since
Neil.
Neil, man, that his eyes were so expressive. And the other aspect of his character that I noticed was his little mouth was under his trunk. So as long as it wasn't a profile, they didn't even have to animate it. You know what I mean? They didn't even have to use the servos and move it. So I thought that was also brilliant. So, but I love having the practical characters.
Yeah. It was leaps and bounds from the Acolyte. The Acolyte, I didn't mind. It was like, it was fine. I don't need to rewatch it. I'm not, putting signs up going, burn the Acolyte. Whatever.
Right.
I watched it. I took a gamble.
Yeah.
Was not my favorite Star Wars. That would be Andor.
Right.
But Skeleton Crew was nice. I had fun watching it. I like the fact you don't really need to have seen any Star Wars to go. It was a really good entry point, I think, for kids. Because they don't need to be familiar with anything. Just sit down and watch it. Take you about 3.5 hours, and then you watch the whole season.
It was good, man. We enjoyed it, and it wasn't a chore like the Acolyte.
No,
I finished the Acolyte.
Yeah, same.
But I mean, there were plenty of times where Michelle and I were both like, we might as well. We're committed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's we might as well make it through this maze of lightsabers that don't work. So anyway, but man, Skeleton Crew rocked it. Let's see here, the franchise. If you haven't seen that, that's another one on Max. That if you are in the entertainment industry, then you get every nod that they do, making fun of the industry and making fun of the talent. Dude. And so I think I enjoyed it more than Michelle did, but we both watched it till the end. So
okay, I'll check that out. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gladiator 2. I have seen Gladiator 2.
Oh yeah, Gladiator 2, man. Dude, I didn't know what to expect, and I mean, it's Ridley Scott, so of course I'm going to watch it. But when you get to the end and you're like, damn, they did tell a new story.
Hmm.
Because the trailers just kind of made it look like, oh, well, here's another gladiator, and he's going to try to get his freedom, and there's bad people on the throne. But, dude, what an amazing movie.
Good. And
Yeah.
sharks. We have sharks in it.
And then what is the actress's name who is the mom? I can't remember.
Connie Nielsen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, she looked amazing. I don't think they did anything to make her look younger or whatever. I mean, 20 years have passed, and she is still drop dead gorgeous. I mean, I was confused. I'm like, when did they shoot this?
22 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, yeah.
But it was
man.
good. The internet went crazy over that. Oh, nobody asked for this film. I hate that a lot. I hate it when people type that.
Yeah.
That's generally not how things work. Hey, this is Disney.
Right.
What would you like? Well, I'd quite like. I like another scene with
Yeah.
the Skeleton Crew. No problem. Leave it with me. And then they go away and they make it. Great. That's how it works
Right.
with me. But
Yeah.
they don't ask people what they want. And
Yeah.
it's actually made more money than the first Gladiator has now.
Has it really?
Because it did it this week, where they're like, the second Gladiator has now made more money than the first one. Then people are like, yeah, but if you twist it around this way, it really hasn't. Inflation and blah, blah, blah. Get the fuck off.
Why don't we just stop making movies altogether?
I'm
Right?
I'm
Yeah,
surprised
let's
some
just-
studios haven't thought, do you know what? Sod it. Let's just invest all this money
Yeah.
in Trump coin or whatever. So we'll make more money that way rather than actually trying to entertain people.
Yeah.
Madness.
Man. It is. Let's see here. Juror number 2.
Oh, really?
Clint Eastwood directed.
I tried to watch that, but
Yeah.
Annette's got a kitten, and it decides. I don't really want the kitten, so this is why I'm saying it's Annette's kitten. It decides that what I'm going to do is every time Stuart wants to sit down and watch a film, I'm going to go behind the TV and mess with the cables and just annoy the crap out of him.
No.
And we put Jury number 2 on last week, and I'm like, I really want to watch this film, and I couldn't. I'm like, so we stopped it 2 minutes in or whatever, because I'm like, I really want to watch this movie. No, so I've not gone back to that. But I love Clint Eastwood movies, whether he's in them, whether he's directed them. So I really do. Did you like it?
I did. The ending is very Clint Eastwood-esque. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
But I mean, it was really good, man. I love when, because it's always a moral play, you know. It's like, well, who feel anyway, man. I won't get into it, but yes, it was excellent. We enjoyed it.
Nice.
Talking about cats, especially irritating cats. I dated a girl in high school, and in her living room there was I think it's called a futon, but anyway, it's like you sit on a cushion, and then there's a cushion for your back, and then there's this wide open space. And her cat was absolutely possessed by Satan himself. And I would sit there and try to watch TV or try to make out, and all of a sudden claws into my whatever was exposed in between my belt line and my shirt. And most unpleasant. If I could have grabbed the cat, I would have thrown it outside.
They're evil.
No offense to cat lovers, but yeah.
They're all evil. Yep.
I thought maybe a cat was coming to get you there, man.
Doors closed. Doors shut. Like, nope, not up. This is like a cat-free room, because there's too many places for a cat to hide or destroy stuff in this room. There's like too many cables and things. I was sitting playing Star Wars Outlaws before, and I heard this like high-pitched meow, and I'm like, that sounds like a distress meow, because a little shit had fallen down behind the freezer and got stuck. So I put the game down. Nightmare. Not even. No.
Yeah. Well, that's the good thing about having an 85-pound dog. You know where the dog is.
Yeah.
And he really can't sneak up on you. He kind of reminds me of a lioness, like walking and running, just because lions are lazy. But this dog, wherever I go, this dog follows. And if I go into a room or step outside, then he is right there at the door, not giving up on my return. So it's kind of fun. So let's see here. Red One was our Christmas movie.
I wanted to watch
it.
it, didn't manage to get to see it.
Was it the cat again?
No, it was just a lack of streaming. Oh no, that was one of the ones. There's quite a few that have fallen through the cracks where I've not managed. And do I really want to watch a Christmas movie at the end of January? Probably, but
there was enough. It was, if Santa and Marvel had a baby, it would be Red One. It was very much, I mean, like, if you had a Marvel checklist, everything that Marvel has done, a lot of it was done in Red One, but it was very enjoyable. And I don't know why, because we did go to Disney when we were down in Florida, and went to the new Star Wars land, whatever that
Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge. And it was amazing. I came around the corner, and we were on an outpost, and it was, for me, having my life so changed by Star Wars, and that sounds so cliched, but coming around, and then there's the Millennium Falcon, and there's this and that, and we were walking through one of the bunch of stores and stuff, but it was all very Star Wars themed. Nothing that would pull you out of being on a foreign planet. And along comes the Mandalorian just walking through, and they have different doors where they'll come out, they'll walk through, act like they belong there, and then they'll disappear. But just really, really cool. But anyway, But even after Disney and Epcot, of course, was set up for Christmas, everybody was preparing, but they even then, coming back, we just weren't really in the Christmas mood. So I told Michelle that we would watch more Christmas movies. That was her request last year. And I just didn't give a crap. And then Red One came up, and I was like, wow, I thought we were going to have to go to the movie theater to see that. And we cranked it up and had a blast. So, and I think we watched a couple other Christmas movies, but I don't remember which ones. But I mean, I like having a new Christmas movie to kind of kickstart my my holiday, versus just rewatching the same old ones where
Die Hard, Home Alone, Gremlins, Lethal Weapon, those ones, those good old feel-good Christmas movies.
That's right. I'm shooting out your fish tank because you killed my girlfriend, and come to find out you killed my wife too. So yeah, man, Merry Christmas.
Exactly.
Let's see here. Have you watched the movie Here?
Yes.
Dude, was that not amazing?
Loved it. Apparently there's no original films anymore, so
but I mean, I went in to watching it with an open mind, but I was like, the camera's not going to move, and how are they going to tell a story? And of course, Zemeckis is really good at storytelling and giving that feel good kind of vibe. They did a great job de-aging everybody, and man, I mean, like, and it was funny. Paul Bettany, when Jax, which is my dog's name, when we watch a movie, literally, he will curl up on the floor and watch what's going on, and then he'll fall asleep eventually. But so I shot a little video of Paul Bettany coming into the scene, and Jax is watching it. But anyway, I sent that to my son and said, you should watch the movie Here. And he said that he recognized the actor from A Beautiful Mind. And I forgot he was in there, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the Vision, but then he was also in what was it, A Knight's Tale? You know what I mean?
Yes, he was. So, he was the drunk one, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like watching Here. So if you go into the film being aware that it's a locked off camera and it's never going to move, which I knew that's what it was going to be. And in my brain, I'm thinking, how long before I get bored of the gimmickness of it? And I didn't. But I went into it. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Oh my God, this is clever. Yep. Okay, but when am I gonna go? Oh, just move the camera or something. And I didn't. We both watched it. Absolutely, we love Tom Hanks anyway. But it's just a very clever film. But again, it didn't make a lot of money. And exactly. It didn't make a lot of money, crashed at the box office, and yet online you say, oh, why is everything a sequel and an original film, a remake? Because you're not watching it. There's loads of original films, and Here is most definitely one of them.
Yeah. And probably after having everything through the fixed camera, when the one family dragged the dresser in and there was a mirror and you could see the other side of
Yeah,
the room, I man, that was cool. And then of course the ending was sensational. And
yeah.
but I mean, so much heart, so much thought put into it, and yeah, man, that was excellent. Um, Last but not least, Penguin.
I've seen episode 1,
Oh, really?
so
Yeah.
I really like that show. I might,
Yeah.
yeah,
You'll enjoy it
really
all the
good.
way through, man. We've
Yeah,
seen it to the finale, and um yeah, man, the depth of character was impressive.
yeah,
So,
very good.
yeah.
I'm gonna give you a film recommendation, but don't look it up. Don't watch the
Okay.
trailer. Don't
Just
even read what a
okay.
synopsis is. Just write the title down and then
Okay.
find it somehow. It's called
Okay.
Caddo Lake, Caddo, and then Lake.
Okay.
It's one of those films because I was listening to another podcast and they'd recommended it. So I'm not going to tell you about it, but don't look a trailer up, don't read up about it at all. So I did that, and we both did that, and we loved it. A very
Okay.
original film,
Yeah.
very good, a little bit weird,
Okay.
but I think it's a John Fouts film. I think it's a Neil Johnson
Okay.
film as well, but I think he's not here, so
Okay.
I'll sod him. It's a John
Right.
Fouts film. I'll watch that
he
one.
sent me he sent me a song that is
Yeah.
going to be in it's is it a movie or a TV series? I'm still
Who
not
knows? Who
sure
knows at
right
this
now.
point?
Yeah,
I don't know. I think
but
yeah.
yeah,
Who knows? He works
but
for
it
Lucasfilm, I
was
guess. I don't know.
hilarious. That's it. Oh man. So coming in 2025, not that we're not already here. I made my notes earlier, but anyway, what are you looking forward to?
I wish I had a list. I'm looking forward to Ballerina, the John Wick
Oh, what
3
is
point.
that?
That is John Wick
Oh, you're
3.5.
right. I did see that trailer probably what, 4 months ago, three
Something
months
like that,
ago.
yeah. So I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
that. There's another Jurassic World movie coming out. I
Is
think
it?
I'll looking
Yeah.
forward to that one. It's just kicking
Yeah.
off another trilogy with different characters and so on. Um, I don't
I'm
really
sorry,
know.
man.
I don't really know
Yeah.
too much about what is coming out. I've
Yeah.
heard people read the lists out and I'm like, oh, but I can't remember any of them at this moment in
Yeah.
time other than Ballerina. Oh, Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible Dead
Oh,
Reckoning.
yeah.
The final
Yep.
record. Sorry, Tom
So
Cruise.
is that gonna wrap up Cruise and the Mission
Well,
Impossible?
apparently, and I'm fine if
Yeah.
it is because I'm tired.
Yeah.
I can't run even
Yeah.
10% of what that guy does, and he's older than
Oh,
me, so
yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
apparently
yeah.
we'll wrap up the cruise
Yeah.
thing. So I'm looking forward to that. Those two. What about yourself?
Yeah. Let's see here. They've got a TV series coming out called Alien Earth.
They
That
have.
looks pretty cool.
Yep.
Of course, Mythic Quest season 4. I don't know if you kept up with that at all,
Nope.
but again, it's making fun of the gaming industry and the content
Okay.
creation. But it's just hilarious. So I really enjoyed that. And ironically, I started watching Mythic Quest when I had COVID originally. And Michelle and I were so sick, and she slept better than me. I just couldn't sleep when I had COVID. But anyway, but that was one of the things, that and Ted Lasso. We found them both,
Yeah.
and she slept through Mythic Quest. But we both enjoyed Ted Lasso. But yeah, so season 4 coming out of that. Superman, looking forward to that.
Yep.
Reacher season 3 is coming out.
February, isn't it? Yeah, it comes out in February.
Yeah.
Yep.
February 20th, which
Nice.
I always make the joke, when anything is close to my birthday, then it's for my birthday. Like,
Yeah.
Alan Richson said, no, you know what? Yeah,
John's
there you
birthday.
go, right
Yeah,
there. That's it. Let's see here. Invincible season 3, the violent animated show on Prime. Looking forward to that. That was another one that Michelle was just like, wait a minute, they just ripped that dude in half. I don't want to watch this. So, but yeah, it's Creature Commandos, kind of. So, and then Captain America: Brave New World. Not sure when that's
yeah.
coming out, but that looks like
That's
it'll be
pretty
good.
soon, isn't it? Like March or April or something. It's pretty
I
close.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what is the comic book movie that's coming out like early May? Surely there's something.
I think Superman, isn't it? That's May, I believe, or is that July?
I
Or
think that's
is that
July.
July?
Yeah, but it's like we have, and I'm assuming it's an international event, but there is free
Yeah.
comic book days on the May the 5th. So,
Okay.
and we'd always take the kids to go get comics and then go see whatever it was always Marvel, back in the day. So,
So do you
but
know what is free comic day? You just go into a comic book store and they go, "Here, have these," and you're like, "Thanks."
you would.
Is
You
it?
do, man. But
Wow.
you go past everything else, which is usually on a pretty good discount. And then
Okay.
you go back into the room that is like most of the places that I go, they have like a gaming room. And so if you want to go and play whatever, I don't play the games, no judgment there at all. But I mean, it's just one more thing for me to do. And I don't have time for it. But they have all these comics out, and some are at a really, I mean, like super discount, and then there's a lot for free, just to try to introduce, new readers to different characters and stuff.
So
Um,
do you? Because I can't imagine how this would work or be
yeah,
successful. I'm guessing there's a limit on how many you can take. Otherwise, the person in the front of the queue's like, "I've brought my bags, fill them up," and then
they
nobody
give
gets
you
them.
a bag, man. They
Do they?
give you a bag, yeah. And if you need another bag, that's fine too.
But is
And
there a limit
but
on
I
how
mean,
many you can take, or is it just the honor sort of system where they trust you
it's
not
the
to
honor
take
system,
500 of
man.
them?
Yeah, nerds are nice. I think, and that's the message globally is that
Not in the
comic book
UK. They'd be
readers,
like, "I'm having them all. I'm going to eBay them all and make a fortune."
maybe. No,
Yeah.
over in the United States, it's just like, here's one for me. Hey, little kid, can you reach this? I'm gonna, throw one in your bag. So, yeah, man, it's
Do they, do they in the
yeah.
US still have, when you go into like a fast food place like a McDonald's or a Wendy's or whatever, do they still
Yeah.
have the drink dispensers on the customer side?
Uh, at Hardee's, and that is really the only fast food place that I've been to in the last 3 or 4 years. So,
Because they
um,
used to. And then here in the
yeah,
UK, they used to, and then they
yep,
don't now. They've got to know, here's your
yeah,
drink, go away. So
yeah.
I'm guessing because people were just too greedy and going in and just, you
Oh,
know.
yeah, man.
And I
Well,
can
that or
imagine the comic book being the same thing as well. It's like, just let them. And I probably would.
yep,
I'd be like, do you know how many videos I could do out of this big pile? Just keep piling them. I'll carry as many as I can carry.
yep.
I'll have to
But
see
they
if
have,
the free comic book day is a thing here in the UK. And if there is, I might try and check it
yeah,
out just once to,
it's fun, man. But you
yeah.
know how it is when you go to, like a comic convention.
Mm.
And there's a lot of things that that they're just giving away, different magazines, different promotionals and posters, and you just throw them all in your bag, man, and keep on going.
Okay. Good, good.
It's funny. I'm laughing because Jax is making this sound kind of like Thomas the Tank Engine. And I know it's because Michelle is home and he is excited. He's not a loud dog, which is nice. We've had some little dogs that were very loud. But anyway, but yeah, Jax is, I mean, like, if he can not make noise, that's his preference.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Unlike the kitten that now lives in my house.
That sounds like a good children's book. The
Yeah.
kitten that lives in my house.
No,
Yeah.
it's not going to have a happy ending. For the
Yeah.
audio listeners, you've no idea what I've just done.
So you still have fans that are cat owners, so it's
Yes,
good.
probably. Probably. I like cats. I'm not
Yeah.
ready for a noisy one to just terrorize the house. It's like I just need, certainly after the last
Yeah.
summer I had, I'm like, I just want to chill for 6 months and just sit, play games and watch TV
Yep.
and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
break. Nightmare.
Yep.
So, Phantom Menace.
Yes.
Gotta talk about the Phantom Menace. I always like to save these
Yep.
Star Wars bits until the end segment,
Yeah.
because I know that Chris isn't a huge Star Wars fan, but he did say he listens to us talking about Star Wars because he likes
Really?
he likes to hear our memories of when we
Yeah.
watch stuff. So hi, Chris.
Yeah.
Um,
And I meant to I've got it's 8 or 10 inch Jar Jar Binks figure. And I mean, like, I used to go into Walmart, and it was like Star Wars stuff was always on super sale. So it's like $2 for a Jar Jar Binks. Sure, why
Oh
not?
yeah.
But anyway, but yeah, so I meant to have that. I found the cassette. This is still on Star Wars, but not on Phantom Menace. I found the cassette recording of Star Wars. I have nothing to play it on. This is my
Wow.
dad being a bootlegger. And because he liked the movie so much, the second time we saw it, he recorded the whole thing so he could listen to it going down the road.
Yeah. I
So,
used to do that. I used to audio
yeah,
record films and listen to them. Yeah.
nice, yeah. But anyway, forgot all about it, man. And then
Wow.
took the dog out, and then was late for the podcast. So
You were
not that anyone will
only by a
know.
couple of minutes though. Only by nobody would know. So you've just confessed your sin.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
Phantom.
Phantom Menace, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Who wants to go first, man? This was monumental.
Well, I actually wrote down the release date. So in the UK, it came out at the end of July '99,
Yeah,
and in America, it was May 1999. So there was quite a hefty
yeah,
gap. And I
yeah.
went to the US not just to watch Phantom Menace, but I did see it
Right.
before it arrived in the UK. I was
Yeah,
stupidly excited by the Phantom Menace because it's like
yeah,
a lot of people bash the prequels, and some are better than others. But
yeah.
now people love the prequels because they don't like the sequels. So, haha. Um, I I got I have mixed feelings on the Phantom Menace. I'm not a huge fan of prequels
Yeah,
because you're like, oh, I wonder who Anakin Skywalker is going to turn into. Kind of know that answer.
yeah. Well, that or when
Um,
he's jumping out of the car or whatever, and he's not gonna die. You know
yeah,
what I mean? There was a lot of things that you just, no matter what happened, you didn't get as anxious as, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen to Anakin? So
yeah, and like, oh,
yeah.
who's Ian McDiarmid playing? Oh, could that be the guy that turns into the Emperor by any
Right.
chance? That sort of. So I'm a little bit iffy on prequels in general. It's like sometimes I don't
Yeah.
think you need to go back and learn. It sort of de-scarified Darth Vader, in my opinion, because from the original
Yeah.
trilogy until obviously the last 15 minutes of Return of the Jedi, you were like, oh my god, Vader's well nasty. Oh my god, he's scary.
Yeah.
Now you watch Phantom Menace, you go back watch the original trilogy, you're
Yeah.
like, ooh, whoopee, that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. You're like, so there's that.
What
But I remember seeing
that
the
is a
first. Sorry,
yeah. Go ahead, man.
I remember seeing the first like trailer. And then
Yeah.
that poster where it's Jake Lloyd and the silhouette is Vader, and you're like,
Yeah.
that is a
Oh,
seriously cool.
yeah,
I
man.
really want to watch this. What is this Phantom Menace? Who is it?
Yeah.
Does it mean this person? Does it mean that? Nobody really knew what the Phantom Menace was. People
Yeah.
were, a stupid title, but so I think that was probably the start of the toxic fandom when it comes to movies. I think would be
Maybe, man.
that one.
And I don't remember. Was it through iTunes? I don't remember how I saw the trailer. But as soon as I could watch it and download it,
Yeah,
then I lost count, man. I
yeah,
mean, like I watched it over and over. I analyzed every frame. Man, these droids, the explosion behind them, and I wanted to know more. Plus, it's the Phantom Menace. They're going to explain the Clone Wars
yep.
that Leia talks about when she's asking Obi-Wan to, come to her rescue. And yeah, man, I mean, like it was, I was so excited about it. And the older kids had already seen, the original trilogy over and over and over. And so we went to the movie theater, and I was as excited as them. And then the fanfare and the credits rolling, and it was just cool, man.
Yep.
I I want to say that maybe jarred. You know what? My one takeaway, which I watched it a week ago, and I don't. And look, I love Kevin Smith movies, dick and fart jokes, and I mean, like, but the
Yeah.
fact I was not expecting Jar Jar to step in a pile of poop and then to be farted at by that one, whatever the
Yeah.
creature was. And then I think there was a third fart or crap reference. And again, you and I have discussed all the many things that I enjoy and watch on TV. But I just felt like this is weird, man.
Yeah.
It was almost like going to see Shrek. and when he was in his jacuzzi, and the bubbles were coming up, and I was like, they're farting in a kids movie? I
Mhm.
don't understand this. And it wasn't that I was a prude. I was just like, they can do that? So it was just weird. But overall I thought it was great. The fact that Lucas cared enough about our experience that he would not allow any movie theater to play it unless they had the proper sound system.
Yeah.
And a buddy of mine that I went to high school with was one of the guys that went around to all the theaters and would tell one after another, your sound system is not up to par. You're gonna have to replace it if you want to show Phantom Menace. And oh my God, he was like the plague. No one liked him, but we appreciated it, and
Yeah.
so it's partially his fault that we have such stellar sound in theaters today. And Lucas also, there was one scene, and I can't remember which one. Maybe you remember, but there was one scene. I think it was him. It was Qui-Gon talking to Obi-Wan, not too long after they had met Jar Jar. But it was shot digitally instead of on film, just to see if anyone would notice. To me, there's a little lens different. Probably Neil would say, "Oh, hey, it's
Yes,
at
of course it would. Yeah.
the 47-minute mark." And but yeah, man. So that was another huge step forward with digital cinema that we can thank George Lucas for.
Yeah.
And pioneers like Neil, who also
Yes.
pushed those digital limits, man.
But it was a huge thing, was the Phantom Menace. People don't give George Lucas enough credit for just how,
Yeah,
cinema today is,
yeah,
partially because of a lot of the stuff he did, take THX,
yeah,
Industrial Light, Pixar,
yeah,
and so on and whatnot. But
yeah.
um, yeah, I didn't come out of Phantom Menace with any bad thoughts. I didn't come out hating
Mm,
Jar Jar. Some of the Jar
yeah.
Jar stuff was, like you said, a bit stupid. You're like, whatever. But not enough to go, this has ruined my childhood. This is terrible.
Right.
Because we'd not had a Star Wars film. And I'm taking
Yeah.
the Ewok movies out of the equation since 1983. So it was like 16
Yeah.
years since
Yeah.
we'd had a Star Wars movie. And then
Yeah.
we were getting one. And it was like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. This is
Yeah.
amazing. The Duel of the Fates, more John Williams stuff back.
Oh my
Darth
gosh, man.
Maul,
Yeah.
the dual lightsaber fight.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor as, "Oh, hello there." He was great
Yeah.
as Alec Guinness, effectively.
Yeah. Yeah. It was excellent. And probably I think the Duel of the Fates being so different musically with the chorus and the
Yeah,
the choir or whatever. Um it took it to the next level. And that is probably one of my favorite lightsaber duels of all time.
yeah,
And not just because we went from Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader just kind of dang, 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 and it was very samurai. I get what he was trying to do, but it was not robust,
no,
um, but man, that was awesome. And I always admired the fact that Darth Maul is on the other side of the whatever the red laser thingy, whatever, and he's just brooding, man. And Qui-Gon's just like, Zen
just
moment.
gonna chill.
I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm gonna chill out. Didn't save his life, but
No,
still, man, yeah,
but it's. I mean, I saw that, I think, maybe 2-3 times during its cinema run.
yeah,
I still have the very same DVD that I bought probably
yeah,
like end of 99 or 2000 or whenever it came out, the 2-disc set.
right,
I also have the film on Blu-ray as well, so in a box set.
yeah,
But I think I wasn't a huge fan of Jake Lloyd. It's nothing against Jake Lloyd. It's just like, you see the kid and you go, Darth Vader? You're not scary. That
right,
makes. Obviously, we haven't
yeah,
seen the other 2 films since then. Binks, hit and miss. I thought Natalie Portman was great as Padme.
yeah,
It's really good.
yeah,
The
yeah.
casting was great. The film looked awesome. There was so much merchandise.
Oh
Tons.
yeah.
I had the soundtrack. I got a drinks cup, I think, which had a Jar Jar Binks head on it,
Oh
which unfortunately I don't have anymore. But I
yeah,
don't know what happened to that. But
yeah.
I was trying to go back and rewatch it before this conversation, but it's buried in one of many tubs with DVDs because it doesn't sit in my 200 films of all time list. I think it might though, and I was thinking about that today, and I'm like, should it be in there? I think it could be.
Yeah.
But I need to rewatch it to decide. But I think I've like so many video games I played. I had Pod Racer, which I love. But I've still got that on my PS5 now. So I played that, and as well as a couple of PC games that sort of followed the storyline of the Phantom Menace.
I used to frustrate Matt and I would play, and so there was, and I guess it was just called the Phantom Menace. But anyway, I can't remember which console it played on, but you got to be a Jedi, and one of the coolest things was, you know, you'd hit the button and your lightsaber would come out, and but anyway, I would play it like Conan the Barbarian. Matt would play it very stealthily, so he would be like, hiding, you know what I mean? And I would just run, man, shoot at
slash,
me. I'm gonna, So he wanted to be much more like the movie, and I was like, nope, that's not how I would play it if I had a lightsaber.
Oh,
so.
you just
Yeah. So, but you brought up the soundtrack, and I remember being so excited for the movie, and you pulled the CD out, and you're looking at, you know, the amazing, you know, Drew Struzan artwork and stuff, and you flip it over, and I'm reading the different song titles, and Qui-Gon's Noble End, and I'm like, whoa, what did I just do? And I told my son and my daughter, do not look at the CD case. Don't look. Don't read the, you know.
That's gone down in legend as one of the big cock-ups.
Man,
of the Star Wars thing.
And you know, you think about action figures. That's another thing that, you know, it's like, hey, did I say a silver C-3PO or whatever? You know what I mean? You can always look for the action figure. Is Wedge Antilles actually going to be whatever, whoever the character is? And there it is. You want to know more about Darth Maul? Then boom, let's go look at his action figure. Let's read the little synopsis on the back of the package. So, yeah. But reading Qui-Gon's Noble End, I was like,
that's
dang, man. Yeah,
that's bad. And that's probably something I think I'd seen the film before I got the soundtrack, just out of sheer luck.
Good for you, man.
But I've heard that story over the years where people talk about that. Like, who thought? I think it was a screw up between. They figured the soundtrack would come out after the film, but even still, just call it something different. Qui-Gon's theme or something. I don't know.
That's it, man. Not remembering Qui-Gon, not something like that, you know. No. But yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't think the bonfire at the end of the movie, where they were paying homage to him, I don't think that had a theme song.
No, I don't think it did. No.
Yeah, Qui-Gon's barbecue. Yeah.
Midichlorians could have done without the midichlorians. Didn't really need that. I know people get really mad at midichlorians. I don't get really mad at them. I'm just like, you know what? I'll ignore those.
Yeah. It was. We didn't need that explanation. I think if the sequels did any favors to the fandom, it was the Force is something that we all have the capability of wielding, and we can all learn to use the Force, and it just kind of opened the doors for everybody. Not necessarily a virgins in the Force that was named Anakin. His midichlorian count was way more than Yoda's. So yeah. And speaking of Yoda, the original release of the movie had puppet Yoda, and then the what was it? 2 years later, they came out with the
CG Yoda,
yeah, which tons better, man. I was
really see. I'm puppet Yoda. I'm puppet Yoda fan. Yeah.
It just looked like he was severely constipated, and his neck was so blown out, and his eyes. It was like I don't know, man. I feel like they could have done better. Now, granted, when you go back and look at the puppet from the original trilogy, that one is a lot rougher, but yet still, man, we accepted it, right? Mm-hmm. But there was just something like maybe his face was too thick, maybe not thick enough, and then his eyes were just kind of wonky, kind of like a bad Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know if you guys have those over in the UK, but yeah, man. And then I guess with Jar Jar being so animated, seeing Yoda talk like this, I mean, like, anyway,
It's
so
like
yeah,
Billy
but
Bob Thornton from Sling Blade, weren't it? You're a Jedi. Yeah.
gonna bash his head in. Yeah,
Kill him with them lightsabers.
right. Which, by the way, man, still in the Star Wars theme, I tagged you in a tweet where because you could go to the droid factory at Disney, right? And but I did not see the option to buy a $25,000
Wow.
life-size R2D2. So I'm hoping that Hasbro or Disney or whoever will send you one for review, and
I
then
hope
you
so.
know, yeah, yeah.
I do
If
hope
the
so.
shipping is if the shipping winds up being too much, just have them send
I'll
it to
have it
me. I'll be your
forwarded to you.
delegate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
open it on video. Just send me the clip. It's fine.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'll try to channel my best Christian Bale and describe it, and I'll just remain off camera.
But Phantom Menace, I still to this day do like the Phantom Menace. I don't really
Yeah,
see the hatred. I think it's one of those films that's had the history rewritten, where like everybody liked
yeah.
Titanic when it came out. Now everybody thinks it sucks. And you're like, where? No,
No
they didn't.
way.
They liked it when it came out. They didn't. No, no, nobody. Everybody
Yeah.
hated it. No, they didn't.
No. I think a lot of people had a disbelief, like when everybody was saying, wow, it's amazing. And you're like, I mean, I went uh begrudgingly and had a huge like Olympic sized Coke and
Uh-oh.
finished that off. And man, I sat on a very full bladder for the rest of the movie because it was that good. And speaking of Titanic, there was an acquaintance of mine. It was Mark something. I can't remember his last name, and I forgot to look it up. But anyway, he worked for Industrial Light and Magic. Sorry, Michelle is having fun with Jax. But anyway, um, and so anyway, but his takeaway from the Phantom Menace was he could tell because there's too much animation for one production house to do Jar Jar,
Yeah.
and so they split it up. I think it was 3 or 4 different animation houses, and his disdain was going, "Yep, there's the different Jar Jar. They didn't know what they were doing when they did the
Oh
particle render,
no.
blah 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 blah." Yeah, and so it was interesting, but still,
Suspend your disbelief, Mark. Come on, seriously. Just
exactly.
give yourself over to Star Wars.
Yep.
It's fun. But I mean, I didn't come out of Phantom Menace going, "This is the best film I've seen all year," or "Oh my God, this is amazing," or "This is better than the
Yeah,
original trilogy." I'm not one of those, but I enjoyed it.
yeah,
I liked it, and I've seen it probably
yep,
15, 20 times over the years, and I would have
yep.
happily sat and watched it again this afternoon if I'd have found where the DVD was. But the same
Right.
cannot be said for Attack of the Clones. But I need to revisit. I'm going to try and revisit all the prequels
Yeah.
before we put these Star Wars ones to sleep. I don't know if I
Right.
do. If we end up doing the sequels in 6 months' time or whatever, who knows? But,
Yeah. Yeah. I'll
but
watch Attack of the Clones so we can talk about that. And then of course, the first ever Star Wars that was PG-13, you
yeah,
know? So yeah, I'll watch
yeah.
that. Anakin, I've got the high ground.
And what's
Yeah.
that even? What's that got to do with it? I'll chop your legs off. I've never understood that line. It's just like I get it. It's supposed to be a funny line, but it wasn't. Just like it's not a funny one. It's a bit odd.
I don't know that they were meant to be funny, but yeah, it's like, you're meant to bring balance to the force, dude. I Going back to Phantom Menace, coming out of that, because I tried to, I mean, I always enjoyed going to the movies. I wanted my kids to have that movie going experience, but I didn't want to take them beyond I think PG-13 was probably the limit.
Yeah.
As they were growing up. So that was a further celebration of the Phantom Menace, was that George Lucas gave the world something that I could share with my kids. And I think we saw it probably maybe 6 times in the movie theater. And one of the last times, I had a big animation project that I was working on. And so I was not getting enough sleep. And I took the kids, and at some point during Qui-Gon's, during the big Darth Maul battle, I dozed off. But in my
Wow.
mind, because I'm listening to it, it was like different camera moves. And I'm like, man, I have never seen this version before. This is really cool. And then I woke myself up.
In John's head version. Yeah. Okay.
And said if they could have just tapped that. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, but you were saying that you going back to Yoda, you liked the puppet
Yeah.
Yoda versus the CG
I did,
Yoda.
because it's like I'll always be a fan of practical over CG, and the
Yep.
practical might not look as good as the CG, but there's something nice
Yeah.
about a physical
Oh
thing.
yeah.
I think.
But during when Mace Windu is saying, but which is the master and which is the apprentice, and Yoda's just sitting there going,
Ooh?
I don't know, man. It was just
It did look a bit like that wonky gremlin in Gremlins. Was it Gremlins 2? The one that had like a bit of something being
yeah,
hit by a plank
yeah,
or something. I'm not quite sure. But he had that sort of look. Maybe that's where they got that
yeah.
gremlin from.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think, and who knows? Probably Yoda looked so much better back in the day because now we're spoiled to have the practical. Because I'm with you, man. I would much rather see practical effects. And Neil in Skeleton Crew, his huge animated eyes, and you would forget that he was a person in a costume.
Yeah.
And so I think going back and watching some of the footage like I did, excuse me, earlier in the week, I think that was what probably made Yoda look even worse. He
Yeah.
just looked sad, kind of like, the actor who's 110, and you're just
Yeah.
like, Dad, it's time for you to retire, dude.
Yeah. But fond memories. I liked the film then. I've liked it ever since. I still like it now. I don't know when the last time I watched it was, though. Probably
Yeah,
10 years ago, easily. Because
yeah,
it's not often I'll rewatch my favorite films of all time quite often, but the
yeah,
next tier down, I don't tend to
yeah,
do that, and I really should.
yeah. I mean, but sometimes it's that, it's like I haven't watched The Fifth Element in probably 6 years, and
Yeah.
I mean, like, I really enjoy that movie. So, but I think sometimes it's good to take a nice long break from it and then check it out and see if it still holds up.
Yeah, definitely. But I always
Yeah,
enjoy these. I enjoy our conversations anyway, but I'm enjoying
yeah,
these memory lane
yeah,
Star Wars segments, which go on the Star Wars YouTube channel, and aren't doing too
yeah,
bad,
yeah.
to be fair. They're doing okay. So
Well, good, man. Well, if you would like an addendum to this video, I will shoot some video of some of the collectibles that I have from Phantom Menace, including, I think I have it on VHS, and it came with some, like, a film strip and some other things or whatever from the movie. So anyway, man,
yeah,
I'll be glad to shoot some extra stuff. I don't know how much you feel like editing, so
none
maybe it
tons.
would.
Did this is my latest thing, that one.
Oh
But
wow,
are you
man!
watching? Are you watching? Look at his chest.
Oh, dude!
When you press the arm down, it changes
Yeah.
from Spider-Man to Venom because it's filled with liquid. So
Oh,
shout out to Hasbro for sending that to me. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
dude,
So
that is
I
cool.
did the
I haven't seen
video.
that.
I did the video
Yeah,
earlier today and put it on the YouTube channel, and then I thought, right,
yeah.
I'm gonna put that as a backdrop. So
That is waiting on your cat, right? Your
it
kitty.
is. It is
Yeah.
indeed. It's gonna go for it. Yeah.
Yep. And then the venom goo comes out.
Yes. So what have you got planned for the rest of your day? Anything exciting?
My beautiful wife just got home, so dinner, and I don't know. We finished up so much stuff on TV. I don't know. I guess we'll watch some TV and then go to bed, man. And
Yep.
then tomorrow's Friday, and I'll finish out the week of work, and then every Saturday we go horseback riding. So,
Wow. Like
which is fun.
Yellowstone.
So
Yep.
I wish, man. We're still learning, and so we're not allowed to leave the inside of the stable, but yet
Okay.
so they have different things set up for us to go around. But ironically, the horse that I always ride is named Jack. So now I have a dog named Jax. So I don't know what the theme is there, but anyway, but it's fun. So yeah, we always look forward to Saturdays, and
Nice.
having that also to do together. So yeah,
Nice.
man.
Well, you have a good day.
What about you, man?
Sleepy time for me pretty soon. It's 10 to 11 at night, so it'll be
powering
down the computer, editing this tomorrow into its various formats for the audio podcast and the video and the Star Wars stuff. Annette's back studying again with her business degree stuff, so she takes over the office in the daytimes, and then I do my bits and pieces at night. So tomorrow afternoon for me will be playing some more Star Wars Outlaws. So it's good.
Yeah, man. Cool. Well, I'll have to check that game out, man. Sounds fun.
It's like Grand Theft Auto, but in the Star Wars world.
Yeah. Open sandbox. Can you jump planets?
Pretty. Yeah, I just discovered how to jump planets about half an hour before. So there's lots of space battles and stuff going on as well. So I'm only about 6 hours into the game, but so far I'm enjoying it. I think it's about 36 hours to finish. Yes. If you tear through it, but if you're doing every single quest, I think it's into the hundreds. So
nice.
We shall see, but it's a good game.
Yeah, man. Well, have fun with that, and nice hanging out with you, man. I'm glad that you're connected to the world again.
I am glad we're podcasting again. I'm glad that you were the first of 2025. I did an interview podcast today, but this is the first proper. This first podcast I care about that I've done this year. So shout out to Fraser, who hopefully is watching this one. But you enjoy your day, enjoy your evening. Regards to Michelle and hi to Jack. We'll do it. Well, all right.
Take
Chat
care.
to you soon.
All right. Bye.